Welcome again. This is the third subsection of birth defects in prenatal diagnosis, and I am your presenter, Sanana Rahman. In this section, we'll be talking about radiation and chemical causes. So, before going into the subsection, let's take a look on the outline. We'll talk about radiation and how does it cause birth defects. We'll talk about the chemical agents. Then we'll be taking hormones and oral contraceptives in a little detail. Now let's move on to radiation. We all know how Second World War ended. It was when 2 atomic bombs were thrown on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, as a result of which there were devastating consequences for humanity. Let's leave it at that, and let's come back to our lecture. How does it affect a fetus? How does the radiation affect a fetus? So, all of us know that ionizing radiations kill rapidly proliferating cells. It can virtually produce any type of birth defect. It all depends upon the dose and the stage of development. This was also the third principle of teratogenesis, that is dose and stage at which a fetus is exposed to a teratogen is very important. Nuclear radiation, as I've already mentioned, is teratogenic. So I got a few facts about the Hiroshima and Nagasaki survivors. Amongst the Hiroshima and Nagasaki survivors, those who were pregnant, 28% aborted, 25% children died in their first year due to severe defects, 25% had severe birth defects but they kind of survived. We do not have the data for the remaining 22% of the children. Who knows? Some of them might have been normal. But these are the statistics that tell us that radiation is very dangerous for a fetus. Radiation is also mutagenic. Now, it's a very important concept. What is a mutagenic agent? Mutagenic agent is an agent that can cause mutation. What is a mutation? Mutation is a change that occurs at the level of a genome. For example, if a certain genome had a sequence ATT, a mutation may change it into AGT, ACT, CAT, anything. This mutation can now be passed on to the germ cells and can also affect further generations down the line. So, having mutagenic ability, it's a very dangerous ability for a teratogen. It can lead to genetic alteration of the germ cells, which can be passed from one generation to the next. So now let's talk about the chemical agents. Chemical agents are the agents that are being commonly used for treatment of various diseases. With that being said, some of the agents have people have stopped using them because of their teratogenicity. However, some are being still used. Whenever you come across a patient that needs a certain drug that is also teratogenic, always refer to a gynecologist for her expert opinion. So now let's take a look on these chemical agents. First of all, thalidomide. Thalidomide is a sleeping pill. In Germany in early 1960s, the scientists found out that there was increase in frequency of limb defects. When they tried to find out the source, it was the taking of thalidomide by the mothers. It can also cause heart malformation. Now we have amniocentesis. It is an anti-neoplastic drug that is used to treat cancers. It can cause anencephaly, as I've already mentioned. Anencephaly is a condition in which the anterior neuropore fails to close, as a result of which the brain matter is exposed to toxic amniotic fluid. Amniotic fluid is toxic only to the brain matter, not to the skin or the fetus itself. As a result of this, the brain matter disintegrates, degenerates, and this condition is not compatible with life. The child can also have hydrocephaly. Hydrocephaly means water-filled skull. Obviously, water is not filled in the skull. There's increase in the volume of increased volume of cerebrospinal fluid, that is also known as CSF, within the ventricles of the brain, as a result of which the brain swells up. The fetus may also have cleft lip and cleft palate. Next, we have diphenylhydantoin. It is an anti-epileptic drug that causes fetal hydantoin syndrome. Phenytoin is the active agent in this drug. Any drug with phenytoin can cause this. The patient in fetal hydantoin syndrome may have facial defects and mental retardation. Next, we have valproic acid. It is also used to treat epilepsy, and it can cause neural tube defect, hence again anencephaly. Then we have trimethadione. Trimethadione is an anti-epileptic which may cause cleft lip, heart defects, urogenital and skeletal abnormalities. Now we have lithium. Lithium is used in the treatment of bipolar disorder to stabilize the mood. It may cause heart malformations. Then we have amphetamines. Amphetamines are CNS stimulants, and they cause cleft lip, cleft palate, and heart defects. Then we have warfarin, a very, very important drug. It is an anticoagulant. It causes chondrodysplasia and microcephaly. Now, what is chondrodysplasia? Chondro comes from chondrocytes. Chondrocytes are the cells that form cartilage. Dysplasia is the replacement of one type of cell to another abnormal type. For example, at a certain place, if stratified squamous cells were present, and now these cells are changed under the influence of a certain agent to, let's say, cuboidal epithelium, this will be known as dysplasia. Usually dysplasia is pre-carcinogenic. It may develop into carcinoma in situ. Next, we have ACE inhibitors. ACE inhibitors are used to treat hypertension. They may cause growth retardation and fetal death. Then we have cocaine, a very important drug which is used as a recreational drug. It may cause vasoconstriction and cause hypoxia, leading to growth retardation, microcephaly, behavioral abnormalities, and gastroschisis. Now, gastroschisis, a very important abnormality. What is gastroschisis? In gastroschisis, we have a defect in the ventral abdominal wall through which abdominal contents may herniate out. However, it is not associated with any chromosomal abnormality, and usually a layer of amnion is covering these intestinal contents. It is usually correctable after birth, and the patient may survive. However, larger the defect, the lesser the chances of survival of the child. Now, alcohol, again, a very important recreational drug. It may cause fetal alcohol syndrome, which may lead to maxillary hypoplasia. Maxilla is the upper jaw. So maxillary hypoplasia, improper formation, heart defects, mental retardation, and palpebral fissures may be small. Isotretinoin is used to treat acne, cystic acne in particular, but it causes vitamin A embryopathy and can cause virtually any type of deformity. The important thing with all these chemical agents, as I mentioned earlier, is to always ask for the expert opinion of a gynecologist when prescribing a medicine to a pregnant patient. All of us must remember these agents, especially if you come across a pregnant patient who also has epilepsy or any other psychiatric disorder, as many of the psychiatric drugs have teratogenic potentials. Now, let's move on to the hormones. These are the hormones that are given exogenously, not the hormones being produced within the body. Now, hormones, most of them have somewhat androgenic activity. It either may be progestins, ethesterone, or norethesterone. They have a considerable androgenic activity. It may cause masculinization of the female embryo genitalia, as a result of which the clitoris may enlarge to resemble a penis, and there may be a varying degree of labioscrotal fold fusion, which may resemble a scrotum. It may give rise to ambiguous genitalia. The child may be phenotypically female, but however, due to these androgenic agents, it may appear as a male child. So we have endocrine disruptors. These are the exogenous agents that disrupt the normal regulatory actions of hormones, which are controlling the developmental processes. They most commonly affect the estrogen receptor. Because the estrogen receptor is abundantly expressed in the central nervous system and the reproductive tract, it leads to a lot of abnormalities there. Diethylstilbestrol, which is synthetic estrogen, increases the incidence of vaginal and cervical carcinomas in females when they're exposed in utero. Okay, a very important discrimination is that the fetus has to be female and has to be exposed in utero to increase the incidence of vaginal and cervical carcinoma. So, male fetuses may show testicular malformation and abnormal sperm analysis. Obviously, that is because it is an opposite effect. That is a female hormone acting on the male body that may lead to testicular malformation and abnormal sperm analysis. Now, oral contraceptives, commonly known as the birth control pills, they contain estrogens, all these white tablets, and progestins, the red or the brown ones. They have a low teratogenic potential. However, the use of oral contraceptive pills should be discontinued when a pregnancy is suspected. It is always recommended to plan a pregnancy so that a person may know that what he or she is about to deal with. However, if a spontaneous pregnancy occurs, always consult your doctor as early as possible. Get a confirmatory test, get an ultrasound, and always take the medications prescribed by your doctor. Do tell your doctor that you have certain conditions, let's say epilepsy, let's say any other psychiatric condition, let's say hypertension, let's say diabetes, and adjust your medication according to pregnancy. Always remember, pregnancy is a physiological condition. You can easily control it. Do not make it a pathological condition. With that being said, we come to the conclusion of before conclusion, we have cortisone. So cortisone this was an interesting slide. In animal models, cortisone, when injected at certain stages in pregnancy, causes high incidence of cleft lip and palate. However, no such association was found in human models. Obviously, nobody is going to allow to give cortisone to their child. With that being said, this is the end of this section. I hope you like this section. Keep watching other sections of this video. Thank you for watching sqadia.com.